And I've been meaning to go through it for a while now. And inside of it is, you've guessed it, hello there, welcome to AMBR Builds, where assembly may be required. Join me as I document my journey back into LEGO collecting, and I thought I'd start off this video by showing you what I did on Saturday. I went to a car museum, and here are a bunch of pictures of some really neat cars that I got to see. And I'm not a big car person myself, but it was just a thing to do, something I did with my family, and I thought it was pretty interesting. There's the Pee Wee Herman bike as well. And also one thing to note is it did not take me long to find the LEGO section of this car museum. They had a few things built, notably some trucks, the camper van, and some Batmobiles. And I just thought that was really cool, and I thought might as well kick it off with that. Here is a LEGO Studio spider, right in its natural habitat. I don't know what it is, but I find bugs left and right down where I keep my Legos. Alright, this is the table you might be used to seeing, still with the AAT on it. And here is the same table, but without my black mat on it, because I kind of did a little renovation down here. So, welcome to the next iteration of my little LEGO studio / LEGO room. I, in my head, will tell myself I don't have enough space for making LEGO videos. But the truth is, you just gotta work with what you have. You know, I have this desk down here that does not normally get used, and I finally cleaned it up, cleared off the stuff off of it, and found these base plates too that I want to clean because they haven't been used in forever, and I don't know what it is. They've accumulated so much dust, they could probably use a good washing. But anyways, yeah, so this right here is the next part of my LEGO studio, LEGO room. I would like to think that, you know, a good LEGO room is kind of like Disneyland. Walt famously said that Disneyland will never be complete as long as there's imagination left in the world, and I think the same goes for a LEGO studio. It's so easy to tell yourself you don't have the right equipment, you don't have the right amount of space, and I think I fall victim to letting that get in my head. But the truth is, it's a lot like building Legos. If you need space, work with what you have and make something great out of that. So my plan is, this is where I'm going to be doing builds. And over here is where I wanted more display space, because I have a shelving unit right now, and that has the cantina on it, it has Jabba's palace, and I realized I have so many Tatooine sets that I would love to have the space to just kind of lay it all out in one spot. So that's my plan, is for this to be like display space, and that to be building space. I know this is kind of a weird angle, but it works for me. It's crazy. I wanted to say how when you first get something like the cantina, how delicate it feels, especially when you're like moving it around. And then all of a sudden, like a few months in, you've moved it across a few different tables, and all of a sudden it's like, it's not as delicate. Like, it's easier to move as time goes on. So that's the beauty of having this big table, is now I can actually connect the entire set as intended. It didn't have a satisfying click, and that confused me. Keeps coming undone. Doesn't that look nice? Now I can have a whole thing. I can have Obi-Wan's hut in the background there. I can even like put the ships, kind of just park them in the front there. But yeah, so a big part of this, and you know, kind of doing a test run, I think I'm gonna like having a display table and then having a building table, but only time will tell. I guess also here in my headcanon, the Disney castle will be on Tatooine. So that was like a major order of business. Like I said earlier, I do want to clean these. I think I might actually just wash them in the sink, and let's see if I can get, I don't want to show how dusty they are, but I do. I want to see, I don't know if you can really see it there. It's kind of hard to pick up. But I'm going to give these a good old cleaning, and then I'll have something to build on top of. I'm thinking one of these days I'll do a little more of a comprehensive review on the cantina and really show off every detail on the inside. But just for now, I kind of like this angle. It seems to be like a hustle and bustle. If I had more minifigs, I'd put them up in there. And one thing I want to do is I want to get a whiteboard and keep track of the things I intend to do and kind of make a list of them just to keep myself accountable. I'll even maybe have it up and give updates as I accomplish things. But really right now I'd say the number one thing is cleaning those base plates. So this isn't like a comprehensive review of the set, but I just wanted to show here with the tank. I'm not the biggest fan of how long this cannon is. I think I've said that before. But I think it looks better if you take it apart a little bit. Now these two little cylindrical pieces are going to come off. And this here is a Technic rod. Camera doesn't want to focus. Take my word for it, it's a Technic rod. If you have this set or the instructions, you will be able to see that for yourself. But I think it looks better if you keep that little Technic piece in there. Take these two cylinders and throw them at Ahsoka, and then she can practice dodging them. And then the next best thing you can do here is take this off the end there, so that you just have the pointy piece here. Ooh, this is backfiring on me. I changed the lighting setup ever so slightly because I moved the lights, and now things don't want to stay in focus. And then just put the short piece in there. And I think this looks good. The cannon should always go over the end of the tank. And if you look here, it certainly does. And I think it just looks a lot better, a lot more proportional to the actual tank itself. And inside I just have one of the droids piloting. I feel like this kind of puts me in a gray area of Lego building. Not that because there definitely isn't a right and a wrong way to do it, but generally if you have loose pieces, you're going to build something with them because you don't have instructions. But if you have a set, you're either going to use the pieces for whatever you feel like, or you're going to assemble the set. And I feel like there's this gray area in between where if you don't like something about the set, modify it. And then even then, I think there's two ways that can go. You can remove things like I did, or you can add to it. And I feel like adding to it is the more popular of the two. But I don't know, what does everyone else do? Do you ever modify sets because you think you can do something better? Or do you ever remove things like I did on the tank because you think that you can make it look better with less? Interesting food for thought there. Alright, I hope I got the right angle on this. But this is a blue bin, and I've been meaning to go through it for a while now. And inside of it is, you've guessed it, Lego. Now, I know most of this is going to be advent calendar pieces, usually from city sets. I used to get the city advent calendars and the Star Wars ones for a little while. And me being a super organized kid, always kept them together. So in here, oh man, it looks like a plane. I kind of remember making this plane. But yeah, I just wanted to go through this bin and kind of see what's in here because I knew there's advent calendar pieces. Not too sure what else. Oh, a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. This looks like this is the ARC 170. This was a really cool ship I remember getting for my birthday some odd years ago now. This I took an Anakin and Obi-Wan, and I staged the high ground. This is a very simplistic mock I had. And you know what? This is crazy. You see those tiles in there? I know what those are from. Those are from the X-Wing fighter. I think I used them on this mock, or for whatever reason, I just kept them with it. I might get those figs out and restage that. That'd be kind of cool. What's this? A rock? A Lego rock? Gonna have to look up what piece number that is. but I'm pretty sure it's just a rock. Let's see what else. Ooh! Brick separator, and we know how rare those are. Just kidding. And this seems to be a bunch of Harry Potter figures. Ooh, and I love these. These are kind of cool, and I have some ideas for these. These are the magnet pieces, where you could take the magnets from... They came with minifigs, and what you could do is just swap out the minifigs and put your own on it, and then you can put them on the fridge. I wanted to do that with minifigs. If a minifig's really good, kind of like the old, when you do a nice piece of art in school and it makes it to the fridge at home, I wanted to do that with really good minifigs. Ooh, a creator set down there. This was actually like a minifig scale Bionicle set. I wonder if I have any of the... I don't have any of the Bionicles in here to show you. But I remember this, it was like this bridge over some lava built on these two towers. And the Bionicle figures were about minifig scale. They were probably made up of legs, torso, head, 2 for the arms, 2 for the hands. So that was like about 7 pieces each made up the figures. And they scaled well with minifigs. And I remember just liking the blue and black pieces in that set. And it looks like I took it apart. Oh, no way! Okay, I know where this is from now. This is really taking me back. I remember this space figure came in a minifig blind bag. Oh my gosh. This figure came in a minifig blind bag. This minifig came in a minifigure blind bag. And this here is... For those of you familiar with Call of Duty Zombies, this was my Wunderwaffe DG2, which was one of the powerful weapons in the game. I tried to put the lights on the side there with those yellow studs, and I tried to put it had like that, those arms reaching over the side of it, and I used that almost looks like I took a fire hydrant piece and just stripped the bottom off of it and put that on a megaphone. But yeah, I remember making this. This was one of my little proud moments. Back to the bin. This was a creator set where you built little robots, which is kind of cool. And second last thing, it looks like I have an Alien Conquest figure in there. And he has a jetpack. It looks like there's another brick separator, a snowman, and a trading card from a Pirates of the Caribbean set. Some more random pieces. And now last, but not least, a little Lego car. Wow. It's kind of cool to see the things that I used to make, and especially seeing the things that still survived, that still made it through storage after all these years. Don't get me wrong, I love a good Lego set, but things like this, and things like the Wunderwaffe gun, really make me want to get back into building my own things. And it also makes me realize you don't have to plan to build these big elaborate mocks, you know, especially if you haven't done it in a while. Start small. I'm really thinking I want to start small and maybe build a mini build instead of doing something really, really elaborate. Like, I do want to do my own modular at some point. I just think that would be so cool to make my own building in the modular scale. But maybe I should start with something smaller than that before diving right in. It's kind of cool. I never realized he had a double-sided head. That kind of impressed me, because I just remember him having an orange head on the other side. The other thing I noticed, I attached his gun to his back, and it is just way too large. I just need a place to put him in the meantime. I'm going to make my own cannon here, and put him at the Mos Eisley Cantina. So now... in my Lego canon, the spaceman from Call of Duty Zombies that I made up visited the cantina because that's where Pack-a-Punch was. Or maybe I'll put a little mystery box inside there and just kind of do whatever the heck I want with it. That's the type of stuff I want to start doing with Lego. It's just having fun with it, you know? Alright. This is all the advent calendar pieces, and it's going to make a lot of noise as I do this. I want to dump it out, and I want to sort them by year. That sounds so petty and almost pointless, But I want to do it. I want to organize it by what came together, and then from there pull bits and pieces as I need them if I want to add them to something else. It's like one of those puzzles where you look at it and you just try to identify something in it. Is there any single thing in here that you can identify? Maybe minus a minifigure. One thing I just want to say as I'm doing this, I'm looking at Brickset. Aw, that's unfortunate, it's bent. I'm looking at brickset.com to see a list of all the different city advent calendars, so that way I can find the photos and match up what came with what. And I'm using my account from years ago, and past AMBR builds actually categorized and cataloged which ones he owns, which is awesome. So now I don't have to guess which years. I can literally see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different city advent calendars. That's going to make this so much easier. I learned quickly while I was doing this that Brickset on its own is not the best resource for finding all the different parts of different advent calendars. I ended up using Google and finding other websites that went a little more in depth to show me which piece came in which year. So I definitely want to make a video where I go a little more in depth looking at these advent calendars, but a few things I realized while actually putting them back together is, one, I had a lot of missing pieces. There were a lot of things missing that I have to look for just to complete it, just to kind of like get this snapshot of how it used to look. So this is one of the years, and I also want to make sure I know all the years that they are. And two, a lot of things I actually built incorrectly, where I found sources showing how they looked on the box. And this year one that I'm looking at right now was like all police themed. And a lot of the things, like, I either used the wrong pieces or I just had them built slightly off. And that's not to say there's an incorrect way, but for my purpose, I definitely want to go through and make these all complete sets and look at how they were intended to be before I put them in different areas. It is kind of neat to come back and look at this. I think the theme of this week and what I'm looking through with my Legos is everything old is new again. Because I'm going to be putting these back to their former glory and taking a complete look at them. And one more thing before I end the vlog. This is something else that I dug up from my archives. This is Lego Crazy Action Contraptions. It is like a book and some instructions. Really, it's geared towards building things with Technic pieces. And kind of has the pieces listed out in here. It looks pretty neat. And for someone that's into making their own gadgets and like kind of the engineering side of building, this looks like a great book to have. It's just a shame it was never something I actually used. I had it. I think I tried building that once because it looked like the easiest thing, and I just never really got into the motorized isn't the word, but I never really got into the mechanical side of things. And anyways, now that I found this, I'm wondering if I can use all these Technic pieces. Granted, they're still in there. Like, all of them are still in there. I wonder if I could use this to make my stand, like the one that I built on Studio. I didn't actually purchase the parts for it yet, so I think I see this in my future. I'm going to try and see what I can do with this first. Alright, I think that's it for the week. I think I'm going to have a busy weekend, so I'm not going to really get a chance to film or do a whole lot with Lego. So, for those of you that tuned in this time, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you around.